All right. My teams have struggled a bit on this night market choke, so I'm going to show this choke specifically. But these are going to be general rules that you can apply to any choke in Overwatch 2 and how to best break them. So I'm going to say there are mainly three ways to break a choke. You can say a fourth way, and we'll get into it. I don't think it's that good, but you absolutely can still force it. Anyways, so let's say, okay, so we have this night market choke, and looking at our composition, we have a couple of different options to try and break this choke. So I don't know if we'll run Symmetra Tracer in the future, but because we have Symmetra and Tracer, we have a lot of options to break this choke. So number one way to break the choke is point pressure. Because usually if they're defending a choke, they're up ahead of point. And so if I can get my Tracer to kind of just blink past them and force point, somebody, either Vendetta or Lucio most likely, is going to have to pull away from this choke and give us time on point pressure to pull at least one, maybe two resources away from the choke and make it easier for my team to walk forward. So point pressure with like a Tracer or just some kind of flanker in general is a great way to help break chokes. I think number two, because we have a Symmetra, and sometimes if you have a cat, you can, I guess we'll call it skipping the choke. So Symmetra TP and like cat tether, I've seen people take cat tether and apply point pressure, which kind of ties to number one. But basically, because we have Symmetra TP, we can skip the choke, and we can just 5-man TP past their defensive setup, right? We'll look at the next fight where my Symmetra does it, and we can look at how to do it better. Here, we don't really do anything. I think we kind of get baited by the Sojourn, where we see Soj inside, and we're like, oh, we can kill her. But she's just playing as bait. There's no way we can kill her. So we 5-man rotate with speed. No TP or anything. Yeah, she slides away. She just loses help. She'll never die. And so my backline gets pinched from the choke that we ignored here, and there's just nothing that we can do in that state. So I want to give an example of, I think next fight we come in and we're looking to set up. Yeah, we look to set up to skip the choke with TP, okay? So if we execute this correctly, we have to compare where their Lucia is, because that's the real big boop. We just can't TP at Lucio, because if we get booped, it'll mess up our TP and we'll get split off and isolated, right? So if we're going to skip this choke with Symmetra TP, we need to shield on this corner, and we need to find Lucio, or maybe my Ramattra. My Ramattra can peek corner and scout. Is like, where's Lucio? Where's Lucio? My Symmetra can scout with him. Is like, okay, where's Lucio? And then once we're ready, 3, 2, 1, shield on the corner. We know Lucio's here, so we probably don't want to TP anywhere left. We don't want to risk it. So we can just do the generic TP on top of point. All right, so let's see what we do. It's fine, get that out. All right, shield here. I need to see my Symmetra looking for TP. And that was our shield cycle, and we didn't look for TP. Our beam is charged, which is nice, but we're still stuck in the choke. And I just feel like we're kind of wasting time. So it's like nice that my beam's charged, and like if we want to look for a play now, sure. But now you have to wait another 8 seconds for another shield timing. I guess you could just risk it and go for the TP without the shield timing, but you are taking, you're going to get Disruptor shotted, you're going to eat Kunai, you're going to eat Ramattra spam. This Vendetta's taking many hits up here to make it difficult. So just the longer we wait, the more time off the clock, 1, and then 2, the more difficult this TP becomes, just the general pressure that we keep eating. We get pooped out of the TP, we're TPing not around our shield timings. I want shield. The Lucio's looking for boop, and then we just drop and we give up on the TP. And we're just going to lose the fight from there. All right, so we covered point pressure with flanker, Tracer, Genjis, on-runs, maybe even Reaper. You can absolutely do that because they like to be close to people, and point pressure draws people closer to you, so that's good stuff. So point pressure, skipping the choke with TPs and such, and then split retake, which I don't have any example from us here. But if we don't have a good point pressure, we don't like our flanker option for point pressure. Point is kind of hard to access. Sometimes that happens on escort hybrid, where like the choke they're holding is like where point is sometimes. Split retakes is basically chokes are so good because they don't have anywhere else to look. There is just spam that they can throw in this general direction, and they will eventually just win passively over time. And that's kind of what makes walking out a choke so difficult. However, split retakes are necessary to break chokes because they introduce crossfires and make it more difficult for this Ramattra here to look in this direction, because he now is getting his attention split and getting shot from both sides. And so if we want to organize split retakes, it's more so I have a core here chilling, and then maybe I have like a hit scan plus Lucio or just something here to do range pressure from this crossfire and make them back up. Make them not be able to just look at this one area. So that's a split retake. We talked about point pressures with flankers, skipping it with certain repositioning abilities in the game, TP, maybe even cat. You can just skip chokes if you have that. And then we talked about split retakes, creating crossfires to make the choke less advantageous. And then the last one, which I just don't like as much, if you have ultimate advantage, say you had a Lucio and he had beat and the other Lucio didn't have beat, you can just 3, 2, 1, and then commit an ult to get out of the choke. You'll definitely get out of the choke. And if they stay, they'll probably die to ult disadvantage. This one, obviously, I like less because we're committing ults just to get out of a choke. It's not even necessarily fighting on point. So whenever we can, we want to avoid this one. If it's our only option, then sure. But whatever we can, we want to set up either point pressure from a flanker to pull them back. We want to set up a way to skip the choke itself with TPs or cat tether or maybe even life lever pull. I don't know if y'all would ever play them, but there are certain repositioning abilities in the game that we can use to skip the choke. And then thirdly is setting up crossfires to make the choke less oppressive, making sure that this Ramatra, this Kiri, this Soj aren't all just shooting down whatever we're set up at.